Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristin, and if you're new here, this is a corner of the internet where I come at you every other week or so and share what I've been making. I do a lot of knitting, I do a lot of crochet, I do a lot of quilting. I dive down many different rabbit holes here on this YouTube channel, so if that is your jam, you are in a good place. Gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. Just a little housekeeping notes. I know I just gave that spiel about how I upload a video every other week or so. However, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and summer is so full of things. There's so much going on where it's a little hard for me to keep up, to stay on track, to stay on schedule with recording and uploading to YouTube. So unfortunately, it's not terrible, it's good. I'm taking care of myself and just calling it what it is. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little burned out, and there are only so many things I can really juggle. So I've decided that I'm going to take a little bit of a hiatus from YouTube. I hope you are okay with that. I'm not going anywhere. This channel isn't going anywhere. I'm just taking a little break, a little time out, just to enjoy the summer, to recharge, to focus on dyeing yarn, just give myself a little reset, if you will. I'm sure you can relate. That said, I plan to be back in September with a brand new episode for you all to enjoy. As for memberships, that too, I think I'm going to take a little step back and just, reset, if you will. But I completely understand if you are a member. I love you. You guys are so awesome. You're the best. I truly appreciate you all, but I completely understand if you want to pause your memberships or opt out for now. No hard feelings whatsoever. It's truly just, warm and fuzzies all around. I'm just so glad you're here. So again, if you want to just take a pause on that, totally understand. But, I just wanted to mention that to let you guys know, give you a heads up. I didn't want to just fall off the map and have you guys wonder, where's Kristin? I will still be on Instagram. I'll still be posting there in the meantime. And, if the spirit moves me, if I have the time and energy, I will pop in on YouTube and, let you know what's up, what's happening. But for the most part, I think I'm going to take a little break. So that's what's up. I thought I would record one more episode before I signed off for a little bit, because I do have quite a few projects to share with you as usual. I've just been dabbling in all the things. But first, let's talk a finished object, shall we? Again, I posted this to my Instagram account, and this was a total weekend project. I banged this out in like 2 days. I have a desk chair where I sit and I knit, I watch YouTube videos, I watch Netflix, I edit these videos. It's where I hang out for the most part when I'm not dyeing yarn. I'm here in my craft room in that chair. It's a lovely chair. I love it. It's very luxurious. It's green velvet. I mean, what could be better? However, it does not offer the greatest lumbar support, if at all. So I've been thinking about doing this for quite some time. I've been wanting to make a pillow for this chair. And this weekend, I just had a blank canvas and I was like, you know what, let's bang this out, because my poor back. These past few weeks, Dennis and I have been on the road. We've been driving to family events. We've been driving, just to enjoy the summer, to the beaches, and my poor back, it's crying. So, I decided to take it upon myself and make myself a quilted, because why not, a quilted pillow. And here we are. We have a quilted pillow. And not just any pillow, my friends, a Liberty Tana lawn fabric pillow, if you will. Because again, why not? You have a nice, lovely chair. Let's put a nice, lovely pillow on it. I did not use a pattern. I basically, okay. There is a little backstory here. When I did set out to make this project, I hopped on Pinterest, I hopped on the internet, looked up what patterns struck my fancy, and there was one pattern in particular that caught my eye. It was oh goodness, I'm totally blanking on it now, but it's a very common block that you make with foundation paper piecing. And if you're not new to the channel, you know that I've dipped my toes into foundation paper piecing in the past. Did not have a great experience with it. There's something about the process of it that I just can't wrap my brain around. My brain just doesn't work that way. I find it very frustrating, but I saw this quilt block and I saw a pillow made with it and I was like, that looks beautiful. I would love that. So, you know, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Some time has passed since I've tried foundation paper piecing. Let's come at it from a fresh perspective, see if I can get it this time. And I worked a couple of practice blocks and, you know, first one was, you know, a little rocky. First try was a little rocky. Second try, I thought I got the swing of it. It's a pretty simple block to work out. So I was like, all right, we got 2 blocks successfully done. Let's dive in. So made another successful block. Granted, there was one with a hiccup. Again, I'm blanking on what this is actually called. I'll pop the name of it down here so you know, can know what it is. However, you know, after making 1 or 2 of these, I started messing up again. And working with Liberty fabric, if you know Liberty fabric, it's fancy fabric. It's not the most budget friendly. I didn't want to risk any waste with this fabric, and I find foundation paper piecing to be very wasteful in itself. Just a personal observation, if you will, because yeah, you're using all that paper, you're ripping all that paper. Again, I should probably explain what foundation paper piecing is to begin with. Unrelated to English paper piecing, where you're wrapping fabric around a paper template and stitching all your edges together. Foundation paper piecing is when you have a template all printed out on paper. You basically sew your fabric to the paper. Usually it's a printout with numbers on all the pieces, and your fabric has to be big enough to cover over each individual segment when you stitch everything together. And anyway, so one piece of your fabric has to be upright, one has to be downright, your template has to be on top. Anyway, it threw me for a loop, and after making a couple of these and messing up more than I would have liked, I was getting stressed out, guys. I was getting very, very stressed. My heart rate was going up and I was like, no, this is not supposed to be stressful. This is not worth it. Threw it out the window and, you know, made use of the fabric that I had because, you know, again, I find foundation paper piecing to be a little wasteful. So I had all these little scraps and everything. So I decided instead to just make a whole bunch of half square triangles. I know. I throw a lot of shade to half square triangles only because they're not stressful to make. They're very, very simple to make, but the process can be monotonous, you know, very repetitive. You know, if I don't have a good audiobook on or podcast while I'm making these half square triangles, it can get very boring. I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, again, I wanted to use up all these little pieces that I had up. So, you know, I bring it upon myself, my friends. I cut out all these half square triangles and went on to Pinterest. And, you know, as simple as half square triangles are, the possibilities are endless. I mean, it's just half square triangles in different configurations. It's like knitting, you know, all knitting is knitting and purling, yarning over in different configurations. Half square triangles are the same thing. You can rotate a half square triangle in different patterns and get a completely different look. It's so cool. So, you know, browsing Pinterest, I found a pillow. I didn't even write it down I think it was like on some Flickr account or something. There was no information whatsoever. If I find the photo, I will of course link to it. But it was so easy to figure out how they did it. So, you know, it's essentially very similar to a Lady of the Lake motif, if you're not familiar, which is a very traditional quilt block or quilt motif pattern, if you will. So, you know, you get half square triangles that, you know, you can get mock flying geese rectangles. And anyway, it's so cool. So yeah, I had this in my stash. I mean, this is all, again, Liberty fabric, Liberty Tana lawn fabric that I purchased from a website called Duckadilly. That site is very dangerous. They are based in the US and they only specialize in Liberty fabrics. And once in a while, once in a blue moon, they will have a sale, they will have free shipping, and that's when you jump on it. And what I love about Duckadilly, as I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, but one thing that I love about them is that they offer fabric bundles by color. So, you know, they call them stash bundles, I guess. So, you know, if you're looking to build up your fabric stash, you can just get a little fat quarter bundle or fat eighth bundle in, you know, a color family, if you will. So these are all, you know, coral, pinks, totally out of my comfort zone, but I feel like with this gold fabric, again, this also Liberty fabric, it took it to another level. It elevated it, if you will, you know? So anyway, here's my new desk pillow. Here's what the back looks like. It's just a simple envelope pillow. I'll link to a tutorial that I followed. Very, very simple. I'm not gonna lie, I did use ChatGPT to figure out the size, width, and height fabric pieces that I had to cut out. I basically described my project, gave all the measurements. You know, I put in that the front piece, the front quilted piece was 19 by 19 inches. The insert was 18 by 18 inches. And, you know, basically asked ChatGPT how big I should cut the pieces, the two back pieces for an envelope pillow if I want it to fit well, you know? So it worked out really, really well. So, you know, ChatGPT, not good for everything, but for some stuff, it can be very useful. So that is my new pillow. Quilting. Do I want to talk about quilting? Sure. You know, if you can see, I did just a very simple diagonal stitch. I used a walking foot. I miraculously had some matching thread in my stash. I don't know how that worked out, but this is thread that I picked up from a fabric store in Brooklyn when I was still living there, and it just so happens to match this kind of gold ochre fabric perfectly. So yeah, there she is. Okay, moving along. This is a relatively new cast on that I didn't share with you on the main channel yet. And yes, I know I have many a project that need finishing. I have no business casting on new projects, but here we are. Which reminds me, I do at some point want to do another one of those videos where I pull out all of my whips, all of my unfinished objects, and audit them, like decide whether or not I want to frog them. I was supposed to do that today, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to face the music, guys. So we're just talking about what I'm working on today. But this is a project that I was inspired to cast on by my friend Guru. I have a group of wonderful knitting friends that I get together with usually about once a month. And on one of those get-togethers, Guru was working on a pattern by PetiteKnit. It's the French Market Bag. And my jaw dropped when I saw her version because she was actually marling crochet threads. I believe she was using Aunt Lydia's size 10 crochet thread, holding 3 strands of that together with a thread with embroidery thread, metallic embroidery thread, and I fell completely head over heels in love with the effect. Lately, I don't know if you can tell, but I love a good marl. So what do? I completely copycatted her. Goro, if you're watching, hello. So here's where I am with mine. Again, this is a pattern by PetiteKnit, and unlike hers, I am only marling 2 strands of Aunt Lydia's 10. I believe this is the antique white or off-white colorway. I had a whole bunch of this in my stash, so it was just, you know, the perfect storm. So I'm only holding 2 strands of this together with a strand of DMC's Diamond embroidery thread. It's metallic. The colorway, I believe, is called Black Gold. Here it is. If you're thinking about copycatting us as well, the one thing that I do want to bring to your attention is you're going to need a lot of this thread. So when I picked this up at Michael's, I only picked up 2, and I don't know what made me think that this would be enough to knit the whole bag, which I believe calls for about 1,000 yards. I don't have the pattern in front of me right now, but it calls for a lot of yardage, especially when you're holding multiple strands of yarn together. So I had to go onto the Diamond website because Michael's didn't have enough of this in stock. So anyway, I had to go on the DMC website. Did I just call the Diamond? Anyway, guys, words. I went onto the DMC website and ordered about 12 or 15. I'm forgetting. I ordered a lot. And thankfully, at the time, they were having a Memorial Day sale, so I got a discount, and they were also $1 cheaper on that site compared to Michael's. I don't know why, but anyway, I purchased it at a good time at a discount, and anyway, it all worked out. It worked out wonderfully. So we're back on track. But here we are. And guys, this pattern is such a walk in the park. I mean, basically you cast on the bottom and you're knitting and increasing in a circular motion, if you will. And once you're done with the bottom, it's all about knitting in the round in this really simple basket weave motif, I want to say. However, I will say that because I'm working with this yarn, this thread is 100% cotton, and you know, I'm working with metallic yarn, there is absolutely no give to this yarn. Unlike, you know, your usual merino, you know, 100% wool or what have you, there's a little bit of give to the wool. And this, you know, as with any cotton, it's a little hard on my hands, and it doesn't make for the most pleasurable knitting experience, I'm not gonna lie. And unfortunately, I do not gravitate towards wanting to work on it because of that. I do have the calluses to prove it. But again, at the same time, it is worth the calluses because I do want the finished product. I'm very excited for the finished product. So, you know, this is really just a product knit rather than a process knit, if you will. I am using hiatus sharps, which is helping me get under, you know, when I do have to knit more than 3 stitches together or yarn, you know, pass a yarn over some stitches or what have you, which you'll have to do if you want to knit this. I find the sharp point really helps with that, you know, just getting under there because there is no give to the yarn, if that makes any sense. But at the same time, it's still a little bit of a struggle, but that is where I am. When I'm done with this, the pattern also calls for a lining, which I may or may not add, and some leather straps. I don't know about the leather straps. I may do that. However, I'm kind of tempted just to continue knitting, or even just working in some crochet and making some crochet straps. That could look really cool. So maybe just modifying the pattern, going in my own direction when I cross that bridge, if you will. So anyway, that is my French market bag. I don't know how well you can see the shimmer, but it's such a cool effect. I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for the yarn, this pattern would be super easy breezy. I would probably already be done with it, but I had to take a break. And that break happened on the way back while Dennis and I were on the road. I just couldn't bring, I was knitting on it in the car and, you know, going to where we were going. And then on the way back, I just couldn't bring myself to work on it anymore. And we ended up making a pit stop at Walmart. And if you don't know, Walmart has their own craft section. It's like a tiny little Michael's inside of a Walmart. It's great. They have everything. They have such a great selection of, you know, big box store yarns, including like Lion Brand. I don't know. They have a lot of the usual suspects, if you will. I thought to myself, okay, I need something. I need something to work on while we're driving home because, long story short, we were driving back from the Jersey Shore and there's a lot of traffic. Jersey is known for its traffic, and I needed something to pass the time. You know, I'm not driving, Dennis is driving, but I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and I need to put these to use. So, you know, I was browsing their yarn, and I felt so inspired by, hang on, I have the project here, but let me get the yarn. So these 2 skeins of yarn were calling out to me. This is Lion Brand Yarns Mandala in the Zen colorway. I mean, we were at the beach, guys, and these colors just screamed beach to me. I mean, throw in this beautiful charcoal gray. I mean, this is, believe it or not, Walmart has their own in-house brand of yarn. I had no idea about that, and this is all getting spaghetti-like on my arm. But it's called Mainstays. It's anti-pill acrylic yarn, and I think this is their version of Lion Brand's anti-pill acrylic yarn, which I've worked with before. I actually have an unfinished object in my wardrobe over there, my Yarn Fortress 1.0. Lion Brand's anti-pill yarn is a little bit softer than this, but when I saw these 2 colorways together, I was like, you know what, let's go for it. You know, so I purchased 4 skeins of this and 3 skeins of this. I think that's all they had, and I'm like, let's make an easy crochet throw, if you will. So that's what I did. Purchased the yarn, got in the car, went on Ravelry, and found a really great pattern by Attic 24. And you're probably very familiar with Lucy from Attic 24. She is probably most known for her granny stripe blanket. If you recall, several years ago, everyone was crocheting a granny stripe blanket, including yours truly. But anyway, she has a whole bunch of wonderful free crochet patterns on her blog. And one of those was the Neat Ripple crochet Afghan blanket. And I thought that would be perfect for this yarn. So, you know, cast on immediately, and here's where we are. Yeah, I think I knit maybe up to here in the car ride, so I got a lot done. I got a lot done, guys. And I really didn't know how many stitches exactly to cast on, but the pattern said to cast on a multiple of 14 plus 3 stitches, I believe it is. So I kind of ballparked it and cast on 215 stitches. I figured that would be enough for a throw. Well, turns out this is enough to cover my king size quilt, guys. Totally didn't realize that while I was knitting in the car because, you know, as you're crocheting, everything's scrunched up on your lap. But when I got home, you know, I crocheted on a little more and then I laid it across my bed and realized this can cover the whole surface. So I guess we are crocheting a king size Afghan. But that also poses a new problem because my friends, I need more yarn now. This was supposed to be a simple, small project. So I hopped on Walmart's website and my local Walmart does not carry this yarn. It's not available for pickup or anything. It's not in stock. I can't order it to have it delivered. I would have to go back all the way to Jersey or some other Walmart to get this. So what do? You Google who has it, what other stores might have it. Is there some on eBay? Lo and behold, I found somebody on Poshmark selling 6 skeins, exactly how many skeins I need to finish this project. So got it at a pretty good discount. I got it at a good price. And, you know, now all that's left to do is order about 6 more skeins of this. So, you know, yeah, I'm going to have a really funky crochet Afghan for our king size quilt. If I have enough yarn left over, I might make some pillows. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, this has just been really fun and relaxing. I mean, I know, yes, the Battenberg blanket, the Battenberg crochet blanket, that is still active, although it is currently taking another hiatus. But I think what's keeping me going with this project, what makes me not want to put it down, is that I don't have to change color. It's not modular. I'm not making 100 million little squares that I have to sew together or graft together later on. This is, you know, all just one piece and I just want to keep going. And it's stripy. And when you know stripes, it's just like one more stripe, one more stripe, one more stripe. And with this one, I am making 4 stripes of the Zen color before switching to 2 stripes of the gray. And I'm just alternating it as such, if you will. So yeah, that is my latest crochet project, guys. Yeah, I think that is all I want to say about it. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say about it. Oh yeah, yes, there is. Oh, okay, hang on a second. Tools. You know how much I love talking about tools, guys, right? I'm such a huge advocate of swapping out tools when your project's not working. Anyway, I have no complaints other than this cheapo crochet kit that I got from Amazon. I don't know how many years ago. But this turns out this is my favorite set of crochet hooks. It works with pretty much every single project. If I'm having trouble, if I'm just struggling, I go to these and my problems are solved. So that's what I've been using to crochet this. But a while ago, you might remember that I purchased furls. And guys, look how beautiful these are. These are an investment piece. They're so gorgeous to look at. But unfortunately, they're not my favorite. And I haven't, anytime I try to crochet with them, either they don't get along well with the yarn because, I don't know, acrylic doesn't always play nice with yarns. It really depends. I think it works pretty well with cotton. But some yarns, it gets a little too sticky. And then also the hand. I have really small, tiny lady hands, and for some reason this chunky grip is a little too big for me, but I do find, I was like, this looks so pretty together. It would be so unfortunate if I couldn't crochet with this crochet hook on this project, and I was pleasantly surprised that that the yarn and the hook play well together, but not as well as this one. So I don't know, I was trying it. I was giving it a go, and I found a rhythm. It's doable. I don't hate it, but it's a little slow going compared to this one. So if I'm in a mood where I'm just like, I want to be very aesthetic today, I will pick up this one and work on this project. But if I'm just in a mood where I just want to go, where I just feel like flying, I'll reach for that one. What that says about me, I don't know. But, you know, all that to say, I want to point out that like aesthetics aren't everything, and, you know, reach for the tools that work, guys. I don't know. I thought I would talk about that for a little bit, but yeah, I can't, like, guys, as much as I want to love these hooks, they don't work for most projects, unfortunately, and they don't really jive with my ergonomics, if you will. So I don't know, your mileage may vary. I know a lot of people have hand pain, a lot of people have larger hands, and they find these crochet hooks a boon to their crochet process. And to that, I say, you know, again, whatever works for you, go for it. I'm a little jealous if you love these and they work for you, because I want to use these so much, but I can't. They just don't work all the time. Anyway, yeah, just want to let you guys know that I love these so much. I will link to them in the description box below if you want to get your mitts on them. I believe I paid $12 for these. They're brilliant. I love them so much, and I will never stop singing their praises. Okay, guys, that said, let's move on to knitting. I don't have any whips to share with you as of late. Yes, I have many whips on the go that need finishing. I probably have a lot of unfinished whips that need finishing, but I'm feeling like a new cast on, guys. I don't know about you. I have Margot. Margot, the mannequin, is back in action. She went away for a little bit. She was down in our sunroom because I was taking photos of her modeling there, and I got lazy and I never moved her back up here, but she's back, and she's currently modeling 2 shawls that I've knit out of my hand-dyed yarns. She's currently wearing the 24 Birds shawl, the MCal pattern by Helen Stewart, and the Spring Showers shawl that I recently finished crocheting. So she's all decked out over there. But I think it's time for me to cast on a new project using my own hand-dyed yarn again, because I like to have a project. I love my own hand-dyed yarns, guys. I'm not gonna lie, not to toot my own horn, but I always like to have a project on the go using my hand-dyed yarn, just to, you know, keep things fresh, keep the samples coming. And I recently dyed some yarn that I am kind of obsessed with. These are not new colorways. This one's an oldie but a goodie. This one is my Poe colorway, dyed on my Nouveau base, which is a 100% superwash merino wool, single ply. And Poe is a very light gray, I want to say like warm purplish, cool, I would say cool purple gray, if you will. Very light, very delicate. So yeah, I've been dyeing this one for years. Guys, Voolenvine Yarns is coming up on 10 years. I will have been dyeing yarns full-time for 10 years. How crazy is that? Mind is blown. Anyway, yeah, so I've been dyeing this one for a while. And then I want to say last year I dyed this colorway called Lunar, and it's just a very nice, warm, chocolatey brown. And I love it so much. And when I saw these 2 colorways together, I was like, all right, I gotta play with these. And there are 2 patterns that I'm currently deciding between. One is the Lunar Embrace Cowl by Catherine Clark. It's a beautiful, epic, colorwork cowl that features the moon phases. It's just a repeat colorwork moon phase, and it creates this really cool kind of psychedelic effect. I don't know, I can't really describe it, but it looks beautiful. I mean, guys, this is gonna take me forever. I need a lot of yarn to knit this, so I think 4 skeins of each colorway will do the trick. It's a beautiful pattern. I really wanna make it, but if I cast it on, I'm kind of in it for the long haul. This is probably going to be a labor of love. It's going to be it's going to take me quite some time to make it. So that's the only thing that's holding me back. That should not hold me back, really, but it kind of is. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But the other pattern that I'm thinking about is the Renaissance Pullover by Elenor Mortensen, and this is a beautiful, beautiful pullover, also color work. A lovely viewer and customer who purchased my yarn, she sent me a photo of hers. It was absolutely stunning. And she was a little, I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting your name, but I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna pop a photo of it here. It's so incredibly stunning, and she was worried that, it looked too puckery because of her tension, and I think totally, like, it's a beautiful sweater at the end of the day, but like, I feel like that subtle puckering lends itself to the pattern itself. It kind of reminds me of like a jacquard texture, if you will. If you've ever seen that fabric where it's a little, you know, it's woven fabric, but it's textured, that's what it reminds me of. So, you know, a little puckering can work to your benefit, I think. And, you know, I thought it was so stunning. I kind of wanted to copycat her. So that's what I may do that, depending which pattern I choose. But these are the two colorways that I'm going to use. Yeah, so anyway, that's the plan. That's the knitting plan. We've covered a lot, guys. We've talked quilting, we've talked crochet, we've talked knitting. What else is there to talk about? Because there's something else. Guys, I have been doing so much beading lately. I don't know if you can tell. The new bling, there's lots of bling happening. I have fallen seriously down this rabbit hole. And recently, Dennis and I went to a craft fair where I fell so in love with this one maker's bead woven jewelry. I mean, she had a whole booth full of beautiful bead woven jewelry. I mean, she had the loom bracelets, she had freeform peyote, which I soon learned about. I had no idea this type of bead weaving existed until I stumbled on her booth. I wax poetic about her her jewelry so much, guys. With the members, you guys are probably so sick of me talking about her stuff, but I love her work. I love her work so much. I treated myself to these beautiful earrings. I've been wearing them nonstop. I mean, how gorgeous are they? They're so stunning. I will leave a link to her shop down below. Her name is Leslie O'Neill. Again, beautiful, stunning work. And she also has a YouTube channel of her own where she shares tutorials on bead weaving and jewelry making. I got so excited. I did a happy dance. So essentially, I blame her. I blame her for this rabbit hole that I've fallen so deeply down again. So I've been doing all the bead weaving, guys. I made these earrings. These were one of her tutorials. Yeah, I purchased all these beads from Michaels. Some of them are Miyuki beads that I purchased the first time around when I first got into bead weaving about a year and a half ago. So I had some beads in my stash, but then I went to Michaels to get like the little frames over here and the extra, 4mm and 6mm beads to fill it out. But these were so fun to make. And then I found out about bezeling beads. So, of course, I had to bezel all the beads. Again, some Miyukis with some beads that I picked up from Michaels. And that, guys, I can't describe it, but there is something so satisfying about bezeling beads. All it is like you're hugging a bead with other smaller beads. I don't know what kind of itch it scratches in my brain, but I'm obsessed. Obsessed, guys. I don't know if you can tell. So, I found out that I have a local bead store. I mean, so incredible, so awesome. It's like a whole new world was opened up to me. I found out about Rivoli beads, which are these guys right here, these little gems in the center. And then, I bezeled those. Here's some more that I bezeled. Bezeled all these. I could spend hours just bezeling all these little beads. I made myself some other earrings. Guys, you're gonna get a show. You're gonna get a show. And I'm apologizing to my members because I've just been showing these off like nonstop. So I made these. These are really fun. And this was actually a tutorial that I found on Potomac Beads, another great YouTube channel that shows you how to, get into bead weaving. And they just have like a whole gamut of bead tutorials. I highly recommend them if you have any interest in this. So, what else do I want to say? Let me see. Oh, here's one that I made yesterday. I still have to weave in the end, but this was kind of like an improv. I didn't really follow a pattern. I did the basic bead bezel, and then I just kind of went at it with some bicones and some Miyuki size 18s. Anyway, very, very goth. I don't know how I can see this, but the bead color that I bezeled this in, it's kind of like it reminds me of like raven feathers. Anyway, I was going for gothic. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah. Here we are, guys. Here we are. I don't know what else to say. Oh, yeah, but wait, there's more. I have a little box here with all of my little practice pieces. So you know, little bits and bobs that I've, you know, been amassing, you know, been practicing on. Here's one, my very first attempt at free form peyote bead weaving. I basically have kind of like a dagger gem in there, and I just kind of went ham. Free-form peyote bead stitching, little, you know, like a bead soup they call it, you know, around the bead. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Maybe I'll put a little string and hang it from my car rear view mirror, if you will. So there's that. I learned how to make a Russian leaf from YouTube. Guys, the University of YouTube is amazing. You know, just one technique at a time. This is really cool because you can do so much with these. Again, these are all simple, basic components that you can build off of. They're just like the base. So even, you know, like a simple, this bead bezel that I did right here, this is just a component. I can build off of this and make it something bigger, more intricate. It's like, again, possibilities. Completely endless, completely endless. Where is my ear hole? Come on, come on. Where is this ear hole? There we go. This one, I'm so proud of. So stinking proud of. This was a pattern that I purchased off of Etsy. I'm blanking on the designer's name, but I will link to her down below. It's a paid-for pattern. Some people asked if I could offer these as stitch markers in my shop. I can't because she doesn't give permission to sell these, so that's not going to happen, but these were a really great introduction to herringbone stitch, which makes up the little arms, and then also you get some peyote stitch in here. I got to work with some more bicones, and then look at the back of this. How cool is that, guys? Again, super fun to make. Yeah, so I thought about making these into earrings, but they are a little big. I might have to downsize in bead size if I want to make earrings that I prefer to wear, but yeah, starfish, guys. Again, like components. I could build off of this. I can make a bigger starfish. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole, my friends. And now, wow, I feel so winded, guys. Lots of talking. If you've made it this far and you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. Once again, I'm going to be taking a small hiatus just for the rest of the summer. I will be back in September, so if you do decide to stick around, stay subscribed. Thank you so much in advance for your patience. I will be back with a new episode for you then. Again, if you are a member of this channel, I love you. You're the best. Completely understand if you want to cancel your membership in the meantime, you know, no hard feelings at all. I'm just so glad you're here. I hope you're all having a wonderful summer if you're here on the northern hemisphere. Guys, geographically impaired, but I know there are some places that are in winter now, so I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. I hope you're staying cool. If you're where I am, I hope you're staying cool and hydrated. We've been having the craziest heat wave of a summer, so stay hydrated, stay cool, take care of yourselves, and have fun in the meantime. Happy knitting, happy sewing, happy making, and I will see you in September. Bye.